Okay, Dr. Mase, hold on 1 second. I'm going to have 3, 2, 1, go.
Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us today. Sonoma County remains in the purple tier within California's blueprint for a safer economy. Our rate of new daily cases per 100,000 population is still 15. Our testing positivity rate remains at 4.3%, and our equity metric still has not been updated. Because there was no forward tiers, the California Department of Public Health did not use its health equity metric for this tier assignment. As we discussed last week, we submitted a request for tier adjudication to the state of California to add thousands of COVID-19 tests from commercial labs that had not been entered electronically into the state's tracking system. We found out late last week that the state accepted our request to include all laboratory results in our total testing count for the week of November 10th. However, due to the high rates of COVID-19 throughout California, and Governor Newsom putting the emergency brake on tier movement, there will be no change in our status. We're still in purple. As with 40 other counties in the state, transmission rates are still considered widespread. While we share our community's frustration in remaining in the purple tier, we're pleased that the state has agreed with our request to now include manually transmitted test results in our testing totals. This will help bring down our numbers and move us to a less restrictive tiers after we get through this latest surge. On that note, we want to continue to encourage residents to get tested, but we want to clear up a little confusion about the best ways to be tested. If you have health insurance, we encourage you first to contact your healthcare provider, whether it's Kaiser or Sutter or someone else, to see about scheduling an appointment to be tested. If you have symptoms, you should also contact your healthcare provider so that you can get tested quickly and evaluated. Your next best option to getting an appointment with another provider, such as Optumserv, which does testing at the Santa Rosa Fairgrounds, at the Windsor Bluebird Community Center. There is no cost for this testing. However, they do ask that if you have healthcare insurance that you let them know. Charging back to insurers helps defray some of the cost of providing these state-sponsored testing sites. So again, you don't need insurance, but they may ask you for insurance at the Santa Rosa Fairgrounds and at the Windsor Bluebird Community Center. Finally, if you live in one of the key disadvantaged neighborhoods or census tracts that have experienced a really high rate of infection, we encourage you to take advantage of one of the pop-up testing sites that's in your area. These tests are free and your information is kept confidential. The best way to get an appointment is to do it online by going to the Get Tested page on socoemergency.org. There you will find a calendar of the times and locations of the pop-up testing sites. You'll also find a map that shows whether you live in one of these key census tracts that are targeted for this service, and a link to making an appointment online. It's very easy. We have a lot of people asking if a negative COVID test ensures they are safe to be with non-household members over the holidays. It's really important for you to know that a negative test only tells you if you had the virus at the time of the test. COVID-19 symptoms may appear 2 to 14 days after exposure, which means that you could test a couple of days before Thanksgiving and be negative, but you could be infectious after getting your negative result and when you're meeting with family and friends. So if you were in close contact with someone with COVID-19, you would need to quarantine for 14 days to guarantee that you do not have the virus. Really, there is no safe way to gather indoors this year with people who are not in your household. The safest way to celebrate the holidays is to gather only with those already in your household. If you want to celebrate with non-household members, we ask you to keep it outdoors, to keep it small, short, and stable. If you're determined to bring people together indoors, at least reduce your risk by limiting the number of guests. Non-household members should remain at least 6 feet apart at all times and avoid direct contact, especially hugs or handshakes. You can increase ventilation by opening windows and doors. You should also require guests to wear masks except when eating and drinking, and avoid singing or shouting. Whatever you do, please be clear about expectations around maintaining COVID-19 safety, and firmly remind those who don't keep their distance or properly wear their face covering to do so. Finally, I want to remind you that the state has imposed a curfew for counties in the purple tier, which includes Sonoma County. The curfew is in effect from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. each night. With the promise of an effective vaccine on the near horizon, we need to severely limit transmission, hospitalizations, and deaths this year so that we can begin to live fuller lives in a more open economy next year. We also want to make smart decisions now so as to ensure there'll be no empty chairs when we gather together in person next year. Let's give the gift of health and safety this holiday by protecting our family and friends and following the guidelines. Thank you very much.